So guys, welcome back once again. Yesterday I talked about Matteo Salvini, the interior minister, former interior minister, who is the current transportation minister in Italy. His suggestion, okay, the idea that he's bringing to the table of converting documents into something that works like the driver's license, whereby it will have points. Now, this point will sustain your document depending on the crimes you have committed, right? If they catch you selling some things in the street, they will minus points from your Permesso Soggiorno and your resident permit. Normally, usually, the resident permit has a validity of about 10 years. Okay, the resident permit, the normal one. Okay, even though there are some that have a short validity. Okay, so now it is getting traction already. It's gaining traction. Because after making the video, when I posted this, some people came up to say, oh, no, it's not going to be possible. It's not going to be reasonable. Or everybody's going to kick against it. My brother, what this man is doing is what most Italians are dreaming of. And when he does that, remember that at some point, some immigrants were jubilating. Oh, Matteo Salvini is going to prison, because of his stopping of the disembarkation of immigrants that arrived Italy in 2019. Yeah. So some people were jubilating that a court in Palermo was going to sentence Salvini to, is it 6 years or 6 months in prison? But you know how things works. I told you guys that don't be jubilating up and down that this thing is not going to work for you. Salvini is a government official. He has been there in government for a long time. And he has a lot of supporters. He has a lot of supporters. All right? He has. So there was a time he even conducted voting in the street. And people voted for him that he must not go to that prison that some people were, planning for him. So with all these things, he was able to defeat that. I don't know. I'm not sure whether the case is still ongoing. So this idea that he's bringing now, we definitely gain traction at some point. You know that sometimes some officials in the government will bring up an idea and you think that it's not going to be making sense. But meanwhile, in the back end, a lot of people are in support of it. Let me play you a video of an editor and his take on this very move here. Now watch.
A me sembra una buona idea e soprattutto non capisco i critici di Salvini.
Did you hear that? He said una buona idea. Una buona idea. That is a good idea that some people does not understand. That's what this editor is saying. Let me zoom in more so you guys can see properly.
Dobbiamo fare la formazione, ma scusa, ma se uno arriva e si mette a scippare e a rapinare, non è che gli dobbiamo fare la formazione, lo dobbiamo impacchettare e rimandare al suo paese. Allora, per essere chiari, in Italia noi abbiamo l'8% di popolazione immigrata e io mi inchino davanti a quelli regolari. Il problema è che dentro ci sono anche gli irregolari. Questo 8% è responsabile del 34% di reati, 8%, 34%. Per alcuni reati, scippi, rapine, cioè siamo alla metà, l'8% fa la metà dei reati, stessa cosa per quelli a sfondo sessuale, 45%. O ci rendiamo conto che c'è un legame tra immigrazione fuori controllo, immigrazione illegale e reati, oppure ci bendiamo gli occhi come fanno i maestrini che dicono ma no, bisogna formare. Che devi formare? Il rapinatore o lo scippatore lo mandi via.
Alright guys, so you can hear the editor there saying that what Matteo Salvini has brought is a very good idea which he supports. Okay, so the same way goes with others. A lot of people are backing Matteo Salvini in this idea that he has brought out. So don't just come on social media to say, oh, it's not going to work. We are ruling it out. We're going to vote against it. Everything must not be in your favor. Besides, you're a foreigner. You know what they are doing, what foreigners are doing in these their Igbo countries. They cannot even tolerate it in their own countries. You know that, right? We can't tolerate it in our own countries. Even me, I will not tolerate that. So guys, before I proceed, don't forget to send money to Nigeria with 0 transfer fees on this very app called Lemfi. Lemfi is the Oga Patapata of them all. if you download Lemfi from your Play Store or Google Play Store or App Store, iPhone or Android, right? Just type Lemfi, Lemfi. You're going to get a cashback of 15 euros. That is if you use my promo code. If you're sending with money to Nigeria with my promo code. You can also send money to other African countries like, Congo, Gambia, Senegal, Ghana, Togo, Benin Republic. Name them, all of them. You can send money to them with this very app, Lemfi, using my promo code to get an instant cashback of 15 euros. If you're in Europe, sending from Italy, Germany, France, name them, all of them in Europe. Including UK, you're also getting 15 pounds instantly. What about those in America? $15. Those in Canada, you're also getting $15 as well to enjoy the use of Lemfi. So don't miss out on this very opportunity. And their rate is also very high. I know you guys are aware of that. You know that a lot of these countries are planning such. Okay, Reform UK will pay countries for migrant return dues. You know, this thing has been there for some time now. These are the things that they are planning. I told you guys that 2025 is going to be tough for immigrants. This one is the UK ONU. You see?
It is fast becoming a defining feature of our politics, the question of immigration, small boats and asylum seekers staying in hotels. Today was Nigel Farage's turn to present what would be his solution if he had the chance.
The mood in the country around this issue is a mix between total despair and rising anger. In fact, I think there is now, as a result of this, a genuine threat to public order, that it's a growing threat to our national security.
Among the measures that Reform UK would want include it becoming ineligible to claim asylum if you arrive illegally. Those who do will be detained until they're removed, and that includes children. For that, Reform want to build new immigration removal centres. And to do all of this, the UK has to leave the European Convention of Human Rights and the Refugee Convention.
What really bothers me...
But this could mean potentially sending asylum seekers back to countries where they could face torture, imprisonment or even death. A concern Mr Farage somewhat dismissed.
Does it bother me? Of course it bothers me, but what really bothers me is what is happening on the streets of our country. What really bothers me is what is happening to British citizens. So it's all about whose side are you on? Whose side are you on? Are you on the side of the British people or international treaties?
The proposals will need returns agreements with other countries, which will require negotiations and could be costly. Reform suggestions could also face legal challenges, and this lawyer, who represents asylum seekers, believes ripping up our current agreements would not be good.
Well, I think if we were to come out of all these important, hard fought for conventions that protect the rights of migrants, but also protect the rights of British citizens, I think it would be a bad day for Britain. How would Britain be seen? You know, we condemn countries and their leaders as being despotic when they refuse to sign up to some of those treaties. I think it would be a really grim day.
But for now, it is unlikely it will happen. Reform only have 4 MPs, a long way off being in power, and government ministers have no intention of withdrawing from international agreements.
No, we're not planning to either withdraw either permanently or temporarily from the ECHR, because it underpins a number of absolutely vital agreements, including the Good Friday Agreement. That's not to say that we don't think the convention requires reform. We're making the case for reform in Europe.
While the Tories, who are the official opposition, say Nigel Farage has stolen their ideas.
Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. The fact is, Nigel Farage is copying our homework. We put out a deportation bill in May. The stuff that actually works and what he said has come from there. But the truth is, he is not doing the thinking, we are.
The Liberal Democrat leader was out picking strawberries in Somerset today and found time to pick holes at Reform.
Now, the truth is, it was Farage's Brexit that caused the small boats. Before Brexit, we could send back any illegal immigrant coming over in a small boat. Actually, Nigel Farage should have apologised today.
A chorus of opposition, something Mr Farage has spent most his political career dealing with, but the question now is how workable are his proposals. Shihab Khan, ITV News, Westminster.
All right, guys, so you can see that for yourself. Let me know what you think about it. Immigration is going to be taking a new turn this time around. Okay, let me know what you think about it. So, if you are in Italy and you exhaust your point in your document, if this idea is implemented, my dear, it's over for the person. That will be deportation, nothing else. Share this video to others. Let them know what's going on. Thank you.